Hello and welcome to this live stream of ABG Investor Days. My name is Oskar Wikström. I work as an equity analyst here at ABG, covering industrial companies as well as some clean tech companies. And today we have one clean tech company with us, Midsummer, and we have Sven Lindström with us. He's going to present the company. So I leave the word to you, and please go ahead.
Well, thank you. So my name is Sven Lindström. I'm the founder and one of the founders and the CEO of Midsummer. And at Midsummer, we produce lightweight, flexible solar cells and modules. We also sell the machines that produce these lightweight, flexible cell and modules. I'll talk a little bit more about that later. First, I'd like to update you a little bit how we are affected by the virus situation. Our equipment customers, the people we sell the machines to that produce the solar cells, are mainly located in China so far. And they have resumed normal operations since 2-3 weeks back and up to full production right now. And we don't really see any problems other than for new machines when we're sending service engineers to install them. That will of course be delayed as we cannot send those people out right now to China. Other than that, for our own demand of solar cells and modules here in Sweden, we have seen a steady traffic on our website, and we haven't really seen any dip so far until at least the end of last week. So here is a picture of what it looks like in the production facilities when we produce these solar cells and modules. And one of the unique things with our cells and modules is that we can make them extremely lightweight and flexible. So we can form them, we can thermal form them to fit any kind of material. And this is what we have done with our latest product, which we call the Midsummer Wave. And so I'll talk a little bit about our products and what we offer to the market in Sweden, and then I'll explain a little bit about our equipment and our overall business. So Midsummer Wave is a solar cell that we have formed to fit the most common roof tile in Sweden from vendors. So here is a current installation, not that far from our factory in Järfälla here in Stockholm. And you can almost not see the solar cells. They are fully integrated into the roof tile. So it's the world's first solar panel adapted for roof tiles, and we can mount this when you lay a new roof or when you if you already have an existing roof, we can install these. So I'll show you a couple of pictures. Here is the installation in Järfälla, where we installed 3.7 kilowatts, which will then produce annually around 3,000 kilowatt hours for this house owner. So this is a little bit of a close-up, what it looks like, and we have had an extreme interest in this product from customers. So early February, we participated in an e-car show at Friends Arena here in Stockholm, and we had a tremendous traffic in our booth all 3 days when the show was open. So there's a very big interest in these kind of products which integrates well and look really nice together with your roof and your house. We also have the Midsummer Slim, as you can see in this picture from an installation in Åkersberga. This is fully integrated into a standing seam metal roof. We also manufacture this standing seam metal roofs at our factory in Järfälla. So it's delivered from our factory already integrated in the standing seam metal roof. And while you install the standing seam metal roof, you automatically get a solar cell installation. So we've done a few installations in Stockholm. Here is one picture from Segeltorp, which we recently concluded in January. So it's a 5.5 kilowatt installation, which will produce the owner 4,430 kilowatt hours of electricity each year. So that's what it looks like in this picture from a little bit of a distance, and as you can see, it completely melts into the roof profile, and you will you will never have anyone complaining about that it takes away the look of your house in general. We have an off-grid installation in Gotland, which was concluded also in February. This is together with a battery pack, so that if they have a power cut, which they actually frequently have in Gotland, they can still run the full household on this battery pack, as long as the batteries are charged, of course. Just a few examples. Here's a little bit of a bigger installation in Nyköping, where it's a newly built building where with a quite large roof area and also garage, which we fitted with the same kind of Midsummer slim panel. So with this modern energy efficient house, this household will basically be self-sufficient when it comes to electricity, which is attractive. And more installations. I just want to show the pictures and what it looks like. So, apart from these products, or what I would like to tell you about this product also is in the top here you see the Midsummer Slim, where this metal roof is actually fixed in both sides of the panels. So to the left you see a screw where it's screwed in, and to the right you see that it's actually locked under the next panel. Whereas our competitors' products looks like the bottom part where it's locked on the left side, but on the right side it's only clipped on top of the next panel, which means they cannot withstand the same type of wind load that Midsummer panels can withstand. And you can also see that after we have closed the standing seam, it looks exactly like standing seam metal roofs that you're used to see laid by a craftsman. Whereas the bottom part, our competitors have a solution where the standing seam looks a little bit bulky, and you can see that it's not really a metal roof that's laid by a craftsman. So this makes it a very attractive product, and this is a unique solution for Midsummer. Then finally we have a product that we call Bold. So this panel is the size of a regular silicon solar panel, so 6 by 10 solar cells, 60 solar cells. And this we have further developed, and in this installation you can see on a regular house where we actually replace the roof tiles. So you have an underlay felt onto the roof, and then you have the Midsummer Bold as a replacement of the roof tiles. So it also makes as a truly building integrated photovoltaic product, and it matches very well with the house in general. And all the connectors and everything is of course covered by sheet metal, so to avoid any problems with snow or ice, etc. This Midsummer Bold product, it's actually mainly developed for what we see as the largest market potential. It's large area flat roofs on top of factories and other type of buildings, and especially buildings that cannot take the load of regular silicon panels. As our panels are extremely lightweight, they can go onto any building without having to reinforce the building or the structure. So it makes for a very simple and easy installation. So in this picture you can see an installation that we have done in California with this type of roof. So most factories are not covered with solar cells, and you wonder why. And normally the building owners don't want to penetrate the waterproofing membrane, and they have weight constraints. In Sweden, of course, the roofs are designed for 2 or 3 meters of snow, but still, in exceptional weather, as we had, for example, in northern part of Sweden, this year we saw that one sports arena in Kiruna actually collapsed a couple of weeks ago. So even in Sweden, the roofs cannot take any kind of load depending on the weather. And if you install regular silicon panels, you have a limited roof access. You cannot walk on them. On Midsummer panels, you can always walk on them. That's absolutely no problem. You can shuffle snow, etc. So there's really no limitation when using our types of solar panels. Some people who don't want to penetrate the waterproofing membrane, they install the solar panels with ballast. So you put up a rack, and to hold the rack in place, if you don't want to penetrate the waterproofing membrane, you put up big concrete blocks or rocks or anything. And of course, that increases the weight even more. And it's also quite a hurdle when you need to renew this kind of waterproofing membrane that lasts normally 20, 30 years. So, and of course, for any kind of industrial user, normally the sunshine and the production from the solar panels match very well with the consumption of the electricity. So this is really what we see as the potential largest market for our panels. And here is just some pictures of regular silicon panels. Either you mount them on top of the roof tile, as you can see to the right, and to the left you can see where they have actually penetrated the waterproofing membrane and put them on racks, as you normally do with silicon panels. Whereas we can install them on this type of membrane roof, as you see here. And some of the main markets that we see for this is, for example, California. You have 435 million square meters of large flat roofs that cannot take the load of the silicon panels, because these are not built to take the load of several meters of snow. And if we make a simple calculation that we install around 100 watts per square meter in average, then just the market potential in California is 43.5 gigawatts. And if we would capture 5% of that market, that would mean we sell 435 Duo machines, which I will tell you a little bit about later. And in Texas, you have 289 million square meters of large area roofs, and in California, 214. So this, together with the average cost of installation in US, which is actually close to $3 per watt, which is quite high, you still have an extremely low payback, normally much less than 5 years, because of the high insulation and high electricity price that we see in US. So the only limit to capture this market is our own production capacity of solar cells and modules. So large area metal roofs is also a very interesting market, whereas we estimate it's 2,900 billion square meters of large metal roofs worldwide. And just to capture, well, we estimate that at least 10% of these has a limitation in terms of weight restrictions. And if Midsummer would capture 2% of this market, that would mean 50 gigawatts for 10 years, 50 gigawatts per year for 10 years. So there's a tremendous potential here. One of our customers in China have developed their own kind of lightweight module, actually with an aluminum frame and support on the backside, so they can install them on any type of roofs. As you saw previously in the pictures from Midsummer Slim Roof, that's perfectly fitted between the standing seams of the metal roofs. But this is a unique product that we manufactured all in one at Midsummer. But for already existing roofs, you can have different distances between the seams, and with this solution that our customer developed, they can install it on any kind of metal roof. And here is actually a picture from on top of their factory in Nanjing in China, where they have installed these solar panels. So if we look at the market that we try to address at Midsummer, it's if you look at the current market today, which is 100 gigawatts of annual installations, residential, commercial, utility, and other installations, all the silicon panel producers are addressing exactly the same market with exactly the same product. And what Midsummer is doing, as I already told you, is that we're aiming for all these kind of large area flat roofs that cannot take the load of silicon panels. And today that's quite a small market, but that's because no one really has a product for it. And we believe that this market potential that we're aiming at is much larger than the total market today. And we're one of the few companies that really has a product specifically adapted for this market. So I'll tell you a little bit about the solar products that we sell in Sweden, and we will soon launch a new product sites for all our products, and that's a preview peek of what it will look like. So we will hopefully increase the traffic on our website even further, and this will be launched later this week, I think. I just want to tell you a few words about the online campaign we did the last quarter last year. So where we, with very small means and basically letting people know that this product exists, we have a tremendous amount of visitors to our website, and they spend quite a lot of time finding out more information about our products. And with the social media ads that we have presented, we have a click rate that is tremendously high compared to other competitors in the market. So there's a big interest for nice-looking, well-designed solar roofs. Same as Google AdWords, or same response basically with the Google AdWords that we're also using. So this is all possible because of the production technology and the production equipment that we developed at Midsummer. So here you see our Duo system. This is a turnkey production system. We sell this system for between $3.5 and $5 million each, depending on configuration. We have a gross margin on this system of between 60 and 70%. And this is really the majority of our income so far, because we started the solar cell and module production just last year. So apart from this, of course, as I told you, we also developed the process and the process to manufacture these kind of solar cells, which we sell together with the machine. And then, of course, we sell the finished products, the lightweight flexible modules. And a lot of people ask, don't we cannibalize with our customers, or don't we compete with our customer with this business model, selling both the end product and the equipment? But that's not really the case. We're helping the customers. The equipment customers are helping us because there's such a shortage of this kind of product in the world market. So this is a very unique product. And I was actually in China beginning of this year, and tried to get some spare capacity from their factories there to be delivered to Midsummer in Sweden. So we're helping each other in that respect. And then we also have an extremely energy efficient production of solar cells. In these pictures, if you look to the graph to the left, you can see how many grams of carbon dioxide that's emitted for every kilowatt hour produced. Of course, with coal, you emit almost 1 kilo of carbon dioxide for every kilowatt hour. And then to the right, we have enlarged the largest, we have enlarged renewable energy sources where bio-waste and silicon solar cells, etc., are also listed. But here you can clearly see that with Midsummer's energy efficient production of these kind of solar cells, we emit far less, and we're far more efficient even than wind power in terms of carbon dioxide per kilowatt hour. And this opens up the possibilities, of course, the lightweight flexible modules for other applications. Here's the Swedish cross-country ski team, their bus, which is covered with our solar panels. And of course, we have a big potential of new markets. And finally, I would like to say that we've been through a lot of crises at Midsummer, and in 2008, when the solar boom really took place, where you had massive investments in China of production for solar cells, we were not really ready with our equipment. So we caught the last tail of that wave of investments that took place in China after 2008 financial crisis, and we sold our first machines in 2011. So that said, I think that when this virus is over, I think there will be huge stimulus, and people will invest in clean energy production. And this time we're extremely well geared to take advantage of that opportunity. So that's pretty much everything I had to say. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Sven. So I think we have time for a few questions. I think one of the first questions I would like to ask is, so you've seen a trend in the prices of solar cells drop quite dramatically over the years. Could you just comment a bit on any pricing pressure that you're seeing in the market and maybe the competitive dynamics that you're seeing?
Yes, no, of course, there has been a tremendous fall in prices of silicon solar panels. But if you look at and of course we have to follow that, but if you look at the total cost of installation, it has fallen, but that's really where we have our advantage, because our solar panels are more expensive to manufacture than silicon solar panels. But since we integrate them already in the roofing product, so we basically get, we have no or very small installation cost of our solar roofs. So that's really where we have a competitive advantage. And then also, we're not really targeting the same kind of market segment. So we're only targeting the market segments where we don't have to compete head-to-head with silicon panels. If you're building a large-scale solar park out in the desert, we cannot compete because there the cost of the solar panel itself is a majority of the cost. But if you're renewing your roof, then we have a very competitive product.
Okay. I understand. And I think another thing that I was a bit curious about is, obviously, I mean, this product is quite unique and you can produce these panels. Are you protected in any way from competing technologies through patents or that sort of?
Yeah, we have a few patents that's has been approved in Sweden, China, and US. But our strategy has really been not to patent the technology, because if we do so, we have to tell everyone exactly how we do. It's also very difficult to reverse engineer a solar cell. So it's difficult for our competitors to reverse engineer this. And it's also difficult for us to reverse engineer someone else's product and tell them that they used our technology. So we're protected in many different ways. Since we developed the process ourselves and also the equipment to produce the solar cells, and together with all the equipment sub-suppliers, the software, and also the material suppliers, and with the unique process, which include gases, process temperatures, pressures, etc., we are quite well protected only because of that. And so far, we haven't seen anyone that has succeeded in scaling up this production as we have done.
Okay. Another thing you mentioned, so obviously you showed examples of some very attractive market potential, specifically in the US. I was thinking, is there, you mentioned capacity as the sort of bottleneck. So where are you today in capacity? You have sales of around 180 million last year, I think. And I mean, from that level, how much could you grow without any extra investments, or are you currently looking into ramping up? And
so we're what we really see is the big demand here in Europe, which we can kind of control ourselves, because most of our equipment customers are in China and they are working on different markets. So we're really looking at setting up production facilities here in Europe, and as we can see, the amount of support we can get from local governments and also the European Union, we think we can expand production capacity and still being cash flow positive. So that's what we're looking at right now.
Okay. And just one final question. You mentioned, so you're selling the machines, the duo machine, as well as the solar panels. And today the lion's share is basically the machine. How would you see that evolve over, let's say, 5 to 10 years? Would you like a more even mix, or will it still be the machine that's the core?
So as you said, today or last year, I think machines was like 85 or 90% of our business. Of course, we have service contracts, so we have some revenue stream coming from our current equipment customers as well. But as we build up production capacity, I think it will be like a 50-50% mix of new equipment as we and our customers continue to expand. And then, of course, as we start selling more and more panels, that will grow quite fast as well.
And you had pretty attractive margins on the machine. And what about the solar panels?
Yeah, so on the solar panels and that business, we cannot really achieve the same kind of margin. So maybe around 20-30% is what we're looking to achieve on the solar panels.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you.
Thanks.